Hello and welcome to tonight's story. Tonight we will ride together through a forest hidden beneath fog and moonlight. A place where a strange flower glows softly in the dark, and forgotten memories quietly bloom again. So close your eyes for a moment. Breathe slowly and follow the light beneath the trees. This is the story of the garden where moonflowers never die. No one in the village spoke about the forest after sunset. The old paths disappeared the long ago, swallowed by mist and silence. But sometimes, on nights when the moon was unusually bright, a hidden trail appeared between the trees, a path no one remembered walking, and yet footprints were sometimes found there by morning. Elina had heard the stories since childhood. Stories about whispers in the fog and flowers that glowed beneath the moonlight. Most people laughed at them, but Elina never did, because every time the stories were told, something inside her felt strangely awake, as if the forest was quietly listening from far away. That night the moon hung low above the village like a silver lantern. The air smelled of rain and cold earth. Elina stood by her window, unable to sleep. Something kept pulling her attention toward the forest beyond the hills. Suddenly the fight began to move, not with the wind but with purpose. Elena's breath slowed as she watched the white mist separate between the trees. A narrow path appeared beneath the moonlight. The hidden path. Elina felt fear for only a moment. Then something softer replaced it. Curiosity, or perhaps recognition. As if the forest had been waiting for her all along. Slowly she opened the door and stepped outside into the cold night air. The village behind her remained silent and asleep. But ahead of her, beyond the fog, something was glowing faintly between the trees. White flowers, thousands of them, and deep inside her heart, Elena knew this night would change everything. Elena stepped carefully onto the hidden path as the fight closed behind her. The forest no longer sounded like the world she knew. No insect, no wind, no distant voices from the village. Only the soft sound of her footsteps against the damp earth. The deeper she walked, the brighter the white glow became. Until finally the trees opened around her. Elena stopped breathing for a moment. Before her stretched a garden unlike anything she had ever seen. Thousands of pale flowers covered the ground beneath the moonlight. Their petals shimmered softly like silver breathing in the dark. Elina slowly knelt beside one of the flowers. And then she noticed something impossible. The flower moved gently beneath her fingers. Not from the wind, but from breath. The flower was alive in a way she could not understand. Elina pulled her hand back slowly, but the flower leaned toward her once more. As if recognized her presence. A cold shiver moved down Elina's spine. Yet she could not look away from the glowing garden. Then suddenly the flowers around her began to move together. Thousands of white petals turning slowly toward the same direction. Toward the center of the garden. Elena followed their movement with uneasy eyes. Far away beyond the sea of glowing flowers, someone was standing there. A tall figure dressed in black beneath the moonlight. Completely still, watching her. Elena's heart began to pound inside her chest because somehow she felt that the garden had been expecting her arrival. The figure remained motionless among the glowing flowers. The moonlight touched his dark coat, but no shadow appeared beneath him. Elina felt her body tense with uncertainty. Every instinct told her to run back toward the forest. But the garden felt strangely calm around him. The flowers no longer moved with the windless air. They bowed softly toward the silent figure, as if the entire garden recognized him. Elina took a cautious step forward, then another. The glowing petals brushed gently against her ankles as she walked. The closer she came, the colder the air became. Yet the flowers around the figure glowed brighter and brighter. Finally, the figure spoke. You arrived later than the moon expected. His voice sounded soft, distant, and impassively old. Elina stopped several steps away from him. Who are you? She whispered. The man lowered his eyes toward the glowing flower. I take care of the memories that refuse to die. A chill passed through Elina's chest. She looked around at the endless sea of moonflowers. These are memorized. The man nodded slowly. Every flower blooms from something someone could not forget. Elina stared at the glowing petals in disbelief. Some flowers pulse softly like a sleeping heart. Others shimmered, vaguely close to fading away. And when the flower dies, Elena asked quietly, the gardener looked toward the moonlit sky. Then the memory finally lets go of the world. Silence settled between them once again. Somewhere deeper in the garden, something moved slowly in the fog. Elina turned quickly toward the sound, but she could see only flowers swaying beneath the pale light. The gardener watched her carefully. The garden knows why you came here. Elena felt her heartbeat quicken. I didn't come for anything, she replied softly. The gardener's expression darkened with sadness. That is what they all say were at first. A cold breeze finally passed through the garden for the first time. Thousands of flowers trembled together beneath the silver light. Then slowly one flower near the center of the garden began to glow brighter than all the others. Elena could not stop staring at it. Because somehow deep inside her heart the flower felt familiar. The moonflower opened slowly beneath Elena's trembling hand. Its silver light spread across the garden like calm water beneath the moon. For the first time that night, the cold air no longer felt heavy. Elena closed her eyes as forgotten warmth returned to her heart. A voice echoed softly inside her memory. Her mother's voice, gentle, warm, peaceful. Not distant anymore. Elina opened her eyes slowly. The garden around her head began to change. The glowing flowers were dimming one by one beneath the pale moonlight. But the darkness no longer felt sad. It felt peaceful, like a light dream finally coming to rest. Elina turned toward the shadowless gardener. He stood silently among the fading moonflowers. What happened now? Elina asked quietly. The gardener looked up toward the silver sky. Now the garden lets go. A soft wind passed through the flowers. Thousands of glowing petals rose gently into the night air. Like stars returning to the sky. Elina watched them silently as tears filled her eyes once more. But this time the tears carried no pain, only goodbye. Slowly, the mist around the garden began to fade. The glowing flowers disappeared beneath the moonlight one after another, until only the empty forest remained. Elina looked around in silence. The hidden garden was gone. And so was the gardener without a shadow. Only moonlight remained between the trees. Elina pressed her hand gently against her chest. The emptiness she had carried for years was finally gone. In its place remained something softer, acceptance, peace. Above her, the moon slowly disappeared behind the clouds. And somewhere deep within the sleeping forest, one final flower bloomed unseen. Some memories do not ask to be forgotten. They wait quietly inside us, like flowers beneath the moonlight. And sometimes, when the night is silent enough, they bloom once more. And now the moon grows quiet once again. The flowers close their silver petals beneath the sleeping forest. But somewhere in the silence, the garden still remembers. Thank you for walking through this dream beneath the moonlight with me tonight. Until the next story finds you, sleep peacefully and goodbye.